The game never stops, and neither do we. Welcome to the SDH Network. We're always around the corner from everywhere. And Morning Espresso is brought to you by Oglethorpe University, Atlanta's premier undergraduate learning experience and soccer powerhouse. I'm Jason Longshore. It's a busy time in the soccer world with everybody getting ready for the summer, everybody getting ready for an MLS season here in Atlanta, looking ahead to so many other things that are on the horizon. But we've started a new SDH series to look back a little bit because 2026, beyond being a World Cup year, it's another special year specifically for us here in Atlanta. It is the 10th season for Atlanta United. Honestly, it feels crazy to look back at how much has changed in just a short period of time, honestly, even though it feels like a long time. I mean, try to put yourself back 10 years ago, February 10th, 2016. There was not an MLS season being prepared for here in Atlanta. There was actually no professional season being prepared for here in Atlanta. It was right around this time that the word came out that the Atlanta Silverbacks were not coming back for the 2016 season in the NASL. The league had funded the team for 2015, and the owners in the league could not commit to putting the money forward to fund it again because there was not local ownership. Now, Atlanta United had already been announced but wasn't going to hit the field for another season. So 2016 was a weird year in that regard. And you then fast forward 10 years to today, and Atlanta United has helped reshape what soccer looks like in the city, all over the Southeast, all over the league, honestly. I mean, the news just came out a little bit ago from Sportico that Inter Miami are the highest valued club in MLS right now at $1.45 billion. Atlanta United is fourth, going into your 10th season, and you're fourth, valued by Sportico at $1.14 billion. I think the biggest thing from that Sportico report, and yes, Miami came after Atlanta, but I think Atlanta helped change the league and build the foundation for Miami to come in and do what they've done. Miami's revenue should hit, according to Sportico's speculation, should hit around $250 million in 2026. Only 50% of NFL teams and only 25% of NBA teams will generate more than Miami from game day and commercial revenue this year. And remember, NBA teams have 40-plus home games versus Miami's 20. That's significant. Again, this is a very different time for the sport in this country, and it's very exciting to be able to look back in the series that we're doing on the SDH Network, Atlanta United at 10. It's special to go back and remember some of these moments and maybe help connect the dots from these moments to where we are today. Full stadiums around the league. Atlanta United has trophies in the trophy case. Yeah, they want more. It's been a minute since we've seen one added. Love to see more of those. So many unforgettable nights throughout the last 9 years, 9 seasons. A new generation of young players in this region who Atlanta United is just part of their sporting landscape. You know, when I was a kid, I didn't have pro soccer to look up to. Other kids throughout Atlanta's history did not have that opportunity, or you didn't have the level of the opportunity that we see now with previous teams. Now, you can go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium if you're an 8, 9-year-old kid, and you can dream about playing on that field and wearing that shirt. That's significant. That's what other sports have had in this country for as long as any of us can remember. And that's what changes things for the generations to come. So with season 10 approaching, we wanted to kind of commemorate what the past 9 seasons have been with this series, Atlanta United at 10. The first installment came out yesterday. It's not a rankings project. It's not a debate show. It's not about, the best. It's about the moments that have defined where this club is now. It's a celebration. It's a way to honor moments that shape the club, the city, the supporters that have built this culture and built what makes the game so special in our neck of the woods here. The first installment, like I said, was live yesterday. It was 10 defining goals. We had a long list of goals that got whittled down to 10. Really fun to look back at some of these, and so many of them are embedded in your memory, and then there's a couple others. It's like, oh, wow, the moment there. The goal itself was big, but the moment around it was even bigger, and what it led to was even bigger. Just a fun conversation. I mean, it was putting it together with the SDH Network team. It was a blast. We had that huge list. We whittled it down. There's been so many special moments that it's not easy to define some of these. Couple of the pictures that we shared from Sofia Cupertino. She caught Sean De Silva's winner against Miami perfectly at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in 2024, and then the next week did it again, capturing Bartosz Slisz's header against Miami. We're lucky to have Sofia Cupertino. We're lucky to have all of these moments that, I think bring us joy, and that's the most important thing. It's you look back at these moments and you remember where you were and how you consumed it and how it felt. The next chapter arrives today. This afternoon, we'll publish 10 defining homegrown moments, spotlighting some of the players and the pathways that show what Atlanta United has meant, not just at the top level, but for soccer development all across our region. That'll come out later this afternoon at soccerdownhere.net. Okay, some news of the day. Let's bounce around. San Diego, they arrive in Mexico City. They have a commanding advantage after a 4-1 win over Pumas in the first leg in the Concacaf Champions Cup. It's firmly in their hands, but we've seen it before. Nights like this can turn quickly. The priority is simple. Just don't give Pumas an early goal. A fast start from the home team would get the Estadio Olímpico Universitario going. It would shift all the momentum to Pumas, and then you feel like you're going to suffocate. San Diego has to be who they are. They have to stay true to that identity. The composure and possession, the confidence to play through pressure, the pressure from themselves. They have to do those things, but they have to be careful. They can't get stretched. They can't be reckless. I think that's the most important thing. They can't lose their structure chasing moments that aren't there. An early goal would be amazing, but you can't concede an early goal. That's even more important. You got a 3-goal advantage. Now they have to show that maturity to finish the job. Let's go to Italy. 2 of the U.S. men's national team's biggest names are heading into some pretty important contract moments at this time. Both situations carry some pretty real weight in a World Cup year. Weston McKennie at Juventus, he is having one of the most productive stretches of his club career. He's thriving under Luciano Spalletti. Since his arrival in late October, McKennie's been one of the most dangerous scoring midfielders in Serie A. Still doing what he always does, though, filling multiple roles, playing wherever he is needed. The timing matters to this because he's out of contract in the summer. Juve face maybe a different kind of crossroads than what they have in the past with McKennie. They've gone back and forth with him plenty of times over the years. Should they keep him? Should they move him? Should they loan him out? But his current form, it makes it impossible to imagine that Spalletti's not pushing for a longer-term commitment here and a longer-term contract. He's vital to what Spalletti wants to do. Meanwhile, over at Milan, Christian Pulisic's contract, it does run another year. It's through June of 27, but the extension conversation has been a little quiet. You go into the last year of the deal, if you're going to make a move with Pulisic, you're probably going to do it this summer. Maybe the World Cup's going to factor into that. There's reports that suggest Liverpool and Arsenal are monitoring the situation. Milan have yet to make a formal offer, despite Pulisic expecting one months ago. Now, injuries have slowed his momentum a little bit recently, but he's one of Milan's most important attacking pieces. For Maurizio Pochettino, the stability for these guys matters a ton, but also the motivation for these guys matters a ton, and both could be extremely motivated to have great World Cups this summer to better define their club situation for 2026 and beyond. It's going to be definitely one to keep an eye on multiple fronts. Let's go to Germany. We've talked about this a little bit before, but it has not been resolved as of yet. Plans to reshape the women's Bundesliga are still up in the air. They hit a major snag this week. The 14 top-flight clubs announced that a proposed joint venture with the German Football Association has fallen apart. The clubs want more control over the league's future, arguing that they are investing far more money into its growth. The federation wanted safeguards that would keep key decisions under federation influence. The German Women's League has been overtaken by the leagues in France and Spain and England over the past decade, and they're still trying to play catch-up right now. So this dispute coming at that time is a challenge. Both sides say that talks will continue, but the stakes are pretty real. If no agreement's reached, there's a possibility of a breakaway league, and how that would look would be very, very interesting in German football. So stay tuned. Let's come back to the domestic side. Some quick hits around the game. Alexander Freeman, he made his La Liga debut off the bench for Villarreal, entering in the 73rd minute, 4-1 win over Espanyol. Moved from Orlando City in a deal reported to be over $7 million in the winter window. The third U.S.-born player to wear the Villarreal shirt. Portland, they have waived Jonathan Rodriguez. They used a contract buyout that opens an extra designated player slot for the Timbers, clears his salary from the 2026 cap. He scored 17 goals in 2024, but his 2025 campaign was cut short by a season-ending injury, and he's not ready to come back as of yet. U.S. U16 national team camp was announced yesterday, and Atlanta United's academy is a big, big part of it. Multiple players named to the latest roster for a training camp in Fayetteville, Georgia, coming up here later this month. Shei Fakiesi, Daniel Tagbo, Daniel Aluvabert, and Noe Santien headline the local representation. All have been players that we've had a chance to see with our Academy broadcast that'll be coming back here in just a couple of weeks. We'll have our first Academy broadcast of 2026, and maybe we'll see some of these players. Excited to see them. They've all been really impressive. Montreal and the Red Bulls, they made a trade yesterday. Wiki Carmona goes to Montreal. Jaquil Marshall-Ruti goes to the Red Bulls. Montreal adds a 22-year-old Venezuelan midfielder with over 100 appearances. I've always really liked Carmona. New York brings in a young Canadian defender who they think can take the next step in his development that has kind of stalled a little bit over the last couple of years. Montreal, they've added Swiss winger Noah Street from FC Basel on a long-term deal through 2029, option year beyond that. 20 years old, left-sided attacking option, productive loan spell at Nutschel and over this past season. SDH AM, it is live this morning starting at 9:05. There's sound from Atlanta United 2 goalkeeper and US U17 standout James Donaldson. He caught up with John Nelson from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, trying to help his team qualify for the U17 World Cup. They play later today. At 10 a.m., Villanova professor Brett Myers joins to talk soccer analytics, decision-making, how data-driven thinking applies to the U.S. men's national team, the World Cup, even business operations in delivering results and managing strategic objectives. Like I said, keep an eye out for the latest installment of Atlanta United at 10 as we continue to count down to the opener in 2026. We'll talk about our defining homegrown moments in club history this afternoon. And then tonight, 10 o'clock, Atlanta Soccer Tonight. It'll be live on 92.9 The Game and the Audacy app. We're going to talk about Atlanta United's new kit drop. That's coming today. The unveiling will be at an event later today. I'll be there along with Madison Cruz, and we'll tell you all about it along with all the news of the day. That's tonight, AST, 10 o'clock, 92.9 The Game and the Audacy app. All right, the refill to close us out this morning on the Morning Espresso. Cristiano Ronaldo, he is expected to end his brief absence from Al Nassr and return against Al Fateh on February 14th. Maybe he's not going to play in the Asian Champions League 2 this week in the midweek. We'll see if he is still frustrated, if he's okay now. I don't know. There's talk that Benzema was sending him texts kind of mocking the situation and talking about how he got a big raise with his move. And I don't know. It's just keep an eye on Cristiano Ronaldo in this whole thing. Chelsea's women's club, they have confirmed the departure of longtime head of women's football Paul Green after 13 years with the club. Huge role in the Emma Hayes era, which delivered 19 trophies. Chelsea continue navigating some changes behind the scenes, and they have backed Sonia Bonpastor, their manager, long-term. They gave her a new contract, even though this could be one of their more disappointing seasons in a long time. Rafinha, the Barcelona winger, is a major doubt for Thursday's Copa del Rey semifinal first leg against Atleti. He's got a muscle injury. He's been one of the top players in the world this season, but he's short on fitness after missing a couple straight matches. Craig Goodwin, veteran winger, he is expected to miss up to 12 weeks with a groin strain. That could cost him his final chances to get into the World Cup with Australia. He's probably not going to be back for the friendlies coming up here at the end of March. Don't know if he's going to have time to get back into that roster. Reports in Portugal, according to ESPN, suggest that Jose Mourinho could be in line for the Portuguese national team job after Roberto Martinez's job ends after the World Cup. If that happens, Ruben Amorim is being mentioned as a possible returnee to Benfica, where he played, as he tries to rebuild his reputation after his stint at Manchester United. Aerolíneas Argentinas have announced new international flight routes from Córdoba, from Rosario, and from Tucumán to Miami beginning June 8th to support fan travel for the 2026 World Cup. They're expanding their weekly service as Argentina's build-up to defending the World Cup title accelerates. Speaking of Argentina, Independiente Rivadavia, they are enjoying their best top-flight run in club history. They've opened the Apertura with 4 straight wins, 5-match winning streak dating back to last season. They have never had a start like this in the Argentine First Division. The early momentum has them atop the table. Vasco da Gama in Brazil, they've been ordered by the Federation's Dispute Resolution Chamber to pay Atlético Mineiro a total debt of 15.4 million reais, Brazilian dollars essentially, tied to past transfer dealings. So this ruling contradicts Vasco's earlier claims that the amount owed was significantly lower. It reinforces Mineiro's position in the case. The payments will be handled within Vasco's ongoing judicial recovery process, although the timing and the structure is unresolved. We will see, as we've talked about with Botafogo, and we're about to get you caught up on a little bit more talk there. Brazilian situation is fascinating because there is more money in the Brazilian game right now than ever before, but you do have some clubs that are big clubs that are not in the best of financial situations, or they have a lot of old debts that are now coming due, and we'll see where this goes. Speaking of Botafogo, Globo reported yesterday on all the behind-the-scenes issues at Botafogo. They did get the financial injection that they needed to pay Atlanta United at least an installment on what they owe from Thiago Almada, so their transfer ban was lifted. But it's been one of the most contentious episodes since John Textor took control of the club. Disagreements over the terms, the guarantees of the funding, that led the club's social representative on the board to cast a null vote. It prompted the CEO to resign during the approval process. He did not sign the loan documents, did not want his name attached to it. Ultimately, Textor got what he wanted. He secured the majority needed, approved the roughly $25 million injection to clear the ban. Registered players, reports out of Brazil, have had the amount paid to Atlanta United at $10 million out of the $30 that is owed. But this episode has just exposed even more friction in the club's governance. There's still all the issues with John Textor personally with what he owes to, I'm trying to think of how many different groups. I think it's 3 at this point that he owes personally. Then other debts that Botafogo has that have not made it to FIFA yet in terms of transfer ban situations. There's at least 3 of those that have been reported on over the last month. $25 million, and 10's already gone to Atlanta United, and they're going to have to go buy some players before the Libertadores registration deadline hits at the end of the week. That money's going to be gone almost immediately, and then they're going to have to start paying it back. And the loan terms that have been talked about are brutal because of their situation. So that's why there's all this friction. That's why there's all these issues. And I do not think we are done with issues when it comes to Botafogo. This game keeps on moving fast right now. We're all trying to hold on and ride the wave. Today just feels like another one of those days. We had a chance on the Morning Espresso to look back at some of the moments that have shaped Atlanta United. San Diego should get the job done against Pumas tonight. I think they will, but I think they're going to have to sweat a little bit in stages. I'm really fascinated to see what happens with Weston, McKennie, and Christian Pulisic. My gut feeling tells me that Juventus re-signs McKennie before they get to the World Cup, and Pulisic moves in the summer, but I don't know where yet. A lot of that will depend on how he plays at the World Cup. It's all coming together for what's going to be a huge summer around the game, but it's going to be a huge year all the way across the board. We'll keep it all going on SDH AM this morning. If you miss it live, you can always check it out as a podcast or on demand on YouTube or on Twitch. And then don't forget Atlanta Soccer tonight, 10 o'clock tonight, 92.9 The Game, Audacy app. We'll talk all about that Atlanta United new kit drop and everything else going on. Thank you for spending some time with me this morning, and thank you, as always, for being part of the SDH family. And big thank you to Oglethorpe University for sponsoring the Morning Espresso.